Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock and I want to welcome you to Utterly Awesome Stamping. Today I'm going to be showing you a card made with primarily a set called Life is Beautiful. It's going to be available August 4th because it's in the holiday catalog, and that's when all of those stamps become available. And then I'm also showing you a really fun technique called the thumping technique, and that's how I'm going to color the leaves on this tree. So if you haven't done it before, you're going to absolutely love this. And if you have done it, it may be a while because it had been quite a while since I had done this technique. So let me just show you the stamp sets that are involved here. Okay, so the first one, Life is Beautiful, that's coming out August 4th, has the tree, the birdhouse. Here's a beautiful thinking of you, the leaves, the grass. So most of the things I'm using today are included in this set. However, I've also added a cat and a bird, and those are from Grace's Garden. Many of you are already familiar with this set. And then the fence comes out of a new bundle, and this particular thing is called Autumn Goodness. This fence is amazing. I can hardly wait to work with this bundle. The wheelbarrow, and it just has a lot of really pretty fall elements to it. I just haven't gotten quite that far yet. And then the papers, let me just show you again. The paper behind this, it's from, again, new designer papers called Plaid Tidings. And I'm going to do this so hopefully you can see some of both sides of this paper in Plaid Tidings. There's fall, Halloween, and at the very end there's even some black and white. Yes, I love black and white. Okay, so those are the elements that I'm using. So let's get started. Oh, I wanted to show you three other cards that I made with this. Now this is a real basic card, not one layer, which is very unusual for me. I did pull a greeting out of the Forever Fern set, but you don't have to do that. The greeting that comes in this set is Thinking of You, and it has a beautiful font to it. But everything else comes out of that set. Life is Beautiful. Okay, the second one I did, I simply turned the card in a different direction, put 3 trees on there, so I stepped it up just a little bit. But I still didn't add anything other than the one greeting, but again, you can put your own greeting. The third one is where I added the cat and the bird in the tree. So you see how you can keep stepping things up a little bit and a little bit. And then of course this one is really stepped up using the plaid and the fence. So okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to stamp the tree, and I'm going to use my Stamparatus. There is a very large acrylic block that Stampin' Up! Makes, but because I may want to stamp my tree more than one time, I for sure want to use my Stamparatus. So you put your cardstock into your Stamparatus, and then you're going to lay your stamp image, the side that's going to ink, you want that down on your paper. And then when you add your magnets, just because I've had experience with this stamp, I want to put the magnets as close to the tree, at least this one, as possible, because if I decide I want to stamp it again, I don't want it pulling the paper up and moving it. Okay, so let's close the lid. There we go. Okay, so it's now in position, and I'm going to take my pad and simply ink my tree. This is soft suede ink that I'm using. And let's see what we get. You never know. I don't want to over ink this. Ooh, I kind of like that just like it is. Okay, so we're just going to ink that one time. All right, we will remove this. Okay, now the second thing I'm going to do is color the little birdhouse. And I'm going to use 3 markers for this because I don't want it all one color. So I'm using Early Espresso for the hanger. I'm going to use Real Red for the birdhouse itself. And I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie Yeah, these markers, these Stampin' Right markers work really well when you're inking a stamp. The Stampin' blends don't work that great for inking on stamps. Okay, so they're really more for coloring in. Okay, so I didn't get the end of that. I'm going to try that. Oh, not bad. And then I'll just kind of add a little bit here, and no one will be the wiser except for you who saw it happen. Okay, by the time I finish with this, I think it'll be okay. All right, so now I've got the tree and I've added the birdhouse. So the next thing I'm going to do is this fun technique called thumping. And for that, I'm going to use this new bumblebee pad, and I'm going to be doing the thumping with cherry cobbler. So here's what we do. Ink it up in whatever color you want to be your primary color, and then you literally just take the end of the Stampin' Right marker and start thumping. And you can determine how much extra ink. Now I could even add green. I could add as many colors as I want to with this. I'm going to huff it. Let's see, which way does this go? I think it kind of goes this way. Okay, then I'm going to clean it off a little bit. I'm going to go again. I'm not going to put as much ink on it this time. I want a little bit more yellow to show. Okay. It's always a good idea to huff it. Let's see, is this? Okay, here we go. Here. And I think I'm going to put one more stamp on there. This is just so much fun. Okay, huff it, add some more leaves to the bottom. Okay, now my tree is pretty filled with leaves. Wasn't that easy? Like I say, I could have added some green in there too, but I'm assuming that all the chlorophyll is gone and there's no more green. So now what I'm going to do is stamp some green at the bottom, and I'm going to add 3. Okay, so now we've got our grass. And then I think I'll stamp the little hello, and I'm going to do that in Cajun Craze. And this hello comes right out of the set. It's probably good. That's good. Okay, so now the last thing we need to do before we add the fence is simply add the clouds. I have a video that explains how to do this, but I'm going to show you right now. Oops, okay, I just took that apart. Okay, my favorite color for clouds is called Bashful Blue, and this is an old color, but you just need a soft, light blue that you like, and this again is retired. It's a scallop circle punch, but the reason I like it is because the scallops are really indented nicely. The current scallops we have are really cute in the layering circle dies, but the scallops are not indented as much, so they don't make as cute of clouds as this particular one does. So this is just punched out of grid paper, and I punched 5 or 10 or 20 at a time because you never know when this thing's gonna get all absorbed with ink. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is take a sponge, I've cut it into 6ths and added a little color at the top so I know what color I'm sponging with. And so I literally just pull color over the scallop, and then I keep moving it, and you want to leave white space because you don't want the entire sky to be blue, and you could make it darker, you can make it lighter, however you want. Okay, so I don't know how well you might be able to see those clouds, but anyway, they're there and they're super cute. Okay, so now we'll just add, oh wait, we have to do one more thing. Before we put it on our main card, we've got to add the fence. So what I'm going to do is turn my fence over. I'll take my Stampin' seal. Oops, take the lid off. I'm just going to add kind of along the way here because I'm not going to need this whole fence. What I'm going to do is position it at the bottom of the card, and I'll get it as even as possible. Then I'm just going to flip it over, take my scissors, and cut off the excess. Okay, so here we go. Now we've got our fence. And we can add, first let's add, oh look how pretty that is. Oh my word, it's really hard to cover this up, but can't have it all, right? Okay people, come on. Okay, so we'll add this, and this is just cut down by 1/4 inch, so it's 5 1/4 by 4. However, this vanilla, instead of cutting it down by by 1/4 inch, I cut it down by 1/2 inch because I want more of that gorgeous plaid paper to show. Okay, so, whoops, let go. All right, so now by cutting it down 1/2 inch, it's 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, see, so now more of the plaid paper shows. Love it. Okay, so now we're just going to add a kitty cat. And what I did is I stamped the kitty cat in pumpkin, and now I'm going to take the pumpkin marker because I don't want him just colored in, and at the same time I don't want just a plain kitty cat. So I'm going to add some stripes. Yeah, my friend Carol taught me how to do this. She's pretty smart about a lot of things. Okay, see how cute that kitty cat is now? Okay, so let's take the little kitty cat. Come on, people. There we go. All right, so we're going to add him to the fence because he's got his eye on this bird. And I think for the bird, I'm just going to add a little bit on the top of light crumb cake. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of Calypso coral. So he's got a little, it's kind of a fall color, right? Okay, and he's going to be sitting on the birdhouse, trying to stay safe. Okay, so there you have it. That was pretty easy, right? So, just anytime you're going to do leaves, and I'm sure there are other techniques, other stamps that might work well with the thumping technique too, but for sure leaves are just a lot of fun. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by pushing the subscribe button below. And then make sure you follow me on my blog so that you get all the details for the cards that I actually make on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to having you next time.